I die daily, daily. I die daily, daily. I die daily, daily. I die daily, daily.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Anna Daly, certified personal trainer, fitness nutrition specialist, weight loss specialist, as well as a mom, many other things. I wear a lot of hats. Today I am redoing a video that accidentally got deleted, and once that happens, your video is gone. So I apologize to everybody looking for these videos, and I promise this one will be even better with more understanding. So as you can see, I'm trying to kind of cover half my face. If you see anything weird as you're watching this, I'm actually broken out in shingles. It was kind of a weird story, but it happened rather unexpectedly, and probably because of the COVID lowering my immune system and, you know, just doing everything that I'm doing recently. A little bit higher stressful season right now. But that's probably why we broke out, but I'm on day 4 or 5. Without further ado, here we go, explaining Trim Healthy Mama with visual aids. So here we go. Basis of Trim Healthy Mama. You have your carbs, you have your protein, and you have your fats. Now what this is known as, the fats are the S meal, the protein is the anchor, and the carbs are the E-meal. So the way that they kind of demonstrated, I believe, in all their books, probably the simplest version is in their 3rd book, Trim Healthy Table, I believe, is that you have an S meal where the protein is the balancer on a teeter-totter, and the S meal has really high fats and really low carbs. So you're kind of, if you've got one, you're tilting it that way, whereas if you have your E-meal, then you're going to tilt it and you're going to have high carbs and low fat. So in doing this, they're talking about fat storage versus carb storage, anchoring your blood sugar so that it doesn't spike, so that when you have your high carbs, you're anchored in your protein and your blood sugar's not going to go woo and store extra things. So the way that I'm going to explain this plan to you is going to be in the form of something that we actually call macronutrients. As I went through my specialties, you kind of realize I was on this plan for years. I'm like, this is genius, because these 3 things that the plan is based off of are actually called macronutrients. And the way that they have made the plan is based on an idea called food freedom, which I absolutely love. I love food freedom. I was previously in an eating disorder, and I know so many women who are in my place who don't want to count the calories, who don't want to be in those mindsets, who maybe have even struggled with a plan like macronutrients to where they had to get everything down to the nearest little gram, and it drove them crazy. So for that, this is genius, because as you guys know, if you're struggling with your weight, the basis of all healthy, I should say realistic plans, every diet plan out there is going to make you want to feel like it's magic. That their plan is magic. They know that most people aren't going to care about how they lost the weight. They just want to lose the weight. They want to lose it quickly. They want to lose it easily, and they don't have a grasp or an understanding on exactly how this is happening in their body. So for example, let's take keto. Keto is just a little bit of protein and fat. They've completely removed the carb macronutrient just about. So for most people, carbs are about 50% of your calories. So let's say you're on a 2,000 calorie diet. You've just removed 1,000 calories. Bye-bye, 1,000 calories a day. Fats tend to leave you a little bit more satiated than the carbs do. And then you have your protein, and you're like, hey, fats are really exciting because they taste really good and I can eat whatever I want. So you go along and you lose all this weight. Not only that, if you look at my other video on how carbohydrates work in your body, you understand how carbohydrates attract water. The numbers on the scale go down, everybody gets excited. So the way that they have done this in Trim Healthy Mama is that every meal you are either not completely removing, because the basis is that it's food freedom and you never eliminate any of your food groups. So the basis of this is that you're kind of not eliminating, but you're lowering one of these macronutrients. Now, by lowering one of these macronutrients, either carbs or fats, at every single meal, you're taking away calories without having to think about it, which is absolutely genius. Not only that, but you're leaving the protein behind, which is the blood sugar stabilizer. It is the building blocks of all of your cells. Your hair's made of protein, your body's made of protein, and you're going to be able to think really clearly, have a lot of energy, and build a lot of muscle while you're on this plan. So it's also great because you have a lot of variety. So you can either have this or that. Now I'll tell you, if I had to guess, they say to juggle these back and forth, and that if you're doing just the S meals, which a lot of the people get stuck in when you first are on this plan, that you're doing the plan wrong, which is how I did it. I still lost weight. I shoved everything I could into a low-carb tortilla, still lost the weight, but it's the wrong way to do the plan. If you listen to their podcast and subscribe, you'll see that this is the case. So, the reason that this is because fats are 9 calories per gram, protein is 4 calories per gram, carbs are 4 calories per gram. So just by the natural numbers of things, if you're going to be on a faster track, I would say, to cutting your calorie density while still keeping your metabolism high, you're probably going to have the most luck with the E-meal. And as you mature in your Trim Healthy Mama journey, you're probably going to end up on higher E-meals on the food freedom plan. I can say this correctly. But the S meals really, they bring a lot of joy. You can learn to have joy in your E-meals, but I think that the S tastes better. They have a lot more fats, which make it fun. But then even if you're making something like a really savory salad, like a steak salad, don't have steak and ranch and avocado and nuts and cheese. The reason is because 9 calories per gram. You can easily have 1,000 calorie salad, and you might be a 2,000 calorie lady with 2 more meals and 2 more snacks left in the day, and it doesn't leave you a ton of options. Now, if you're juggling, you can really make that work, or maybe you just have a little apple with like a collagen in your coffee for a snack. That's kind of a weird snack, but maybe you do something like that and it's not a big deal. But for those that aren't understanding the basis of how macronutrients work and the amount of calories in all of these things that you're eating, that's going to run you into some trouble spots. That's going to run you into a stall. So the way that I want you to understand how any diet works, as well as Trim Healthy Mama, is that you can take your macronutrients and you can dial them in. And the way that you can continue to lose weight on this plan or on any plan is by keeping your energy in balance. They did do this with the teeter-totter, so I'm going to demonstrate this now. So here we go. We have all the visual aids. Now, as you build your plate, I agree, you're always gonna. So the reason I think that Trim Healthy Mama works so well is when I do macronutrient assessments for clients, all of them are just, first of all, shocked at the amount of calories that you need. There's something that you want to dial in called your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. So that is what you would need if you laid in bed all day and did nothing. That's what it takes to keep your organs alive. Now, all these ladies on these 800, 1200 calorie cleanse diets, juice diets, gag me. Oh my gosh, I hate them so much. I'm all for like being a minimalist and stuff, but just don't do it with your body. Like we tell starving people and eat this much so that your organs can stay alive. So you need a minimum amount, because if you go and eat nothing, like I can tell you firsthand, guess what happened the minute that I started eating again? Boom, packed on 40 pounds immediately because my metabolism was in the toilet. So the fact that all these women are on such low calorie things drives me crazy, doesn't make any sense, doesn't give you any food freedom. And then they're working and working and working. They wonder why they're cranky and their bodies are in starvation mode. Now, I would say the exception is if maybe your doctor put one on. If you think of a figure competitor, same deal. They go on these low-calorie, extreme diets, and then what do they have to do immediately after competition? They have to special reverse diet out of it because this is not sustainable. It's not something your body can do, and it doesn't create like a healthy mindset. And by the way, those people on the magazines, the people who are doing those competitions, they look like that for maybe 2 days. There's a whole water thing that they do. And obviously, if you're on a magazine, they have photoshopped you. End of story. So be healthy, okay? So find what your BMR is, which is usually, if you're smaller like me, probably around 1,200-1,300 calories. If you're a bigger person, then your BMR is probably anywhere upwards of 14, 15, 19. If you're a really big dude, sometimes your BMR is like 2,000 just to keep your organs alive. That doesn't include walking, going to the grocery store, crushing a huge workout at the gym. Like, doesn't include any of that stuff. So you can see why when Pearl and Serene wrote Trim Healthy Mama, they were like, you know, the 1,200 calorie, low calorie, whatever stuff, ditch it, because they know what it's doing to your metabolism. It's keeping your metabolism burn low because your body loves to adapt. So, for example, when my husband, who's trying to gain weight, he has an illness, he's had this chronic sickness for a while, but when he gets really sick, he goes from his healthy 170, 175, and he dropped down to 135 pounds. Well, he is obviously needing, he works out, he loves walking everywhere, he's fidgety, so to put on good muscle for him, he needed upwards of 4,000 to 4,500 calories a day. What happened metabolically when he did that? He was doing good, gaining weight. After just 2 weeks, he needed reassessment because he started losing again. Why? Because his metabolism was used to the high amount of calories that he was putting into it, so it just started burning higher. So beware that that can happen too. Whatever you feed your metabolism, it's going to adapt. If you're eating high amounts, it's going to try to adapt to those high amounts and burn higher with your metabolism. If you're starving, then your body's going to turn that thermostat down low so that you're operating at a very low calorie burn. Now, the symptoms that you're way too low, you're cranky, you're cold, you're irritable, you have brain fog, your joints hurt. Surprisingly, joint pain can be caused by not eating enough, because if you're not getting enough protein, your body's going to go after your muscles and your synovial fluid. Now, the synovial fluid is going to be surrounding your joints, making it all nice and easy to move everything. So if you are having pain, weakness, brain fog, any of those things, think about if you're eating enough. You're probably not. And it's that horrible non-fat, low-calorie diets of old that's poisoned our culture. I hate it. Eat good, eat well, eat with thankfulness, and eat with joy. That's going to be like the best thing that you can ever do, whether you're on this plan, paleo, Trim Healthy Mama, and if you're going to cheat, quit beating yourself up about it, okay? Because you want to know what? The stress is going to kill you before the calories do. So when you are cheating, I'm about to have my birthday in a couple weeks. I know that I'm going to cheat probably on my birthday, and I'm not going to beat myself up about it. Just the way it is. Food is ultimately about enjoyment, and food is about health, and food is about quality of life. And it's about opening your heart with thankfulness and receiving everything that it was meant to be for you. That being said, I've been on the weight loss struggle bus. I've been with a metabolism that I hated, that didn't work the way that I wanted it to. I'm going to tell you the way that your body does store fat so that you can get rid of the fear mindsets, understand which diet technique might be right for you, understand where on Trim Healthy Mama maybe there's some fine-tuner points that you can make your Trim Healthy Mama journey even better. And I do have Trim Healthy Mama friendly recipes on here. The way that it works is you're going to eat one of these three either in Trim Healthy Mama style, or you're going to have, let's say you had a sandwich with bread, meat, and cheese. There you go. All three macronutrients included there. So let's say you ate in the right proportion. The first place that this is going to fill up, pretend I have water in here, I just didn't want to make a mess, is going to be your organs and your muscle. So these are going to go, they're going to pump good blood sugar to your body. Obviously, when your body has the fuel, it's going into your digestive system, going into your bloodstream, going into your muscles. It's, putting everything where it needs to go. And then after it's done filling up your organs, your metabolic rate, keeping those organs alive, then it's going to go to your muscles, and then if your muscles are all full, then that's where it's going to go store as fat. Now you might be surprised because keto diet will tell you, oh, it's only the carbs that store as excess sugar, excess triglycerides, which then get stored into fat. That's where they get a bad rap. But if you overeat any macronutrient, let's say that you overdid it in keto, guess what's going to happen? Fat in excess after your organs and the gluconeogenesis and everything happens. If you've had too much, more calories than you need, that's also going to store as fat. There is no magic to this. A lot of people are surprised once they add protein. If they're not watching their calories, they're like, well, I'm adding protein. Why am I getting fat instead of getting muscle? You're probably having too much. Maybe not even too much protein, but maybe you're overeating over here, and then when you added your protein shake, you've added 300, 100 extra calories, and suddenly you're getting fat. And that's because it's just too much. The way that you stay away from getting fat storage is by dialing in exactly what you need. And everybody needs different. Everybody's BMR is different. And so that's why it's a good idea to figure out about what you need to eat. And you need to have that in the good portions that they are. And then you need to make sure you're not getting too little of it because you want to feed your organs and your muscles. But then you want to keep this one empty. So you don't want the fat storage going on. So the way that you keep emptying this is by moving this. So not only do you need to fine tune, because if this just stays here, it's never going to dump into here. It's just going to stay happy. And if you have excess in here, you need to eat a little bit less here so that the storage dumps into here to be used for energy. So it's all about the energy balance. That's why it's so important, I think, and I love it when clients find their way, they get dialed in, and they find out if their plan is working for them. So that's how Trim Healthy Mama works if you're in a place where you feel stuck. I hope that this helped. I hope that this helped you understand on the plan how this gives you food freedom while kind of keeping the storage empty, and why Serene and Pearl say to do what they do. And if you guys have any questions, you can shoot me a message and I will do my best to answer. If not, I will post more videos like this. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you here later.